feel about that. I think requested that on the second date, the woman come with no makeup on. How do y'all feel about that?
I think requesting it is kind of outrageous.
Mhm.
You're not going to tell me what I can and can't wear, what I put on my body at all. That's just not happening.
This is Drew, and I'd like to welcome you all to another episode of Real Talk Today. Today, we're going to talk about whether she, as a selfish woman, is really the prize. We're going to get into it right after we run the intro.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't.
But you want a kid now, you want a house now, you want a marriage now, you want everything right now. When do you look at what I want? Never have you asked what I want. Not once.
Yeah.
No, not once
Don't
have
go
you
for
asked
it.
what I want. This whole fucking relationship. It's always once you want what April wants when she wants it.
Sorry.
No,
It's not
rude.
sorry.
I've tried to explain this to you before. I keep a lot of shit
Spoiled
in.
brat.
I don't want you to keep anything in with me.
Well, I can't talk to you about it because you
Not
get
even
mad
got
at me
real
and then it
tears.
starts another argument. Every fucking time.
That hurts for you to feel like that because I do not want you to ever feel like that because you are so important to me. And I'm
With a
sorry.
Right.
And I'm sorry. But like we do compromise on certain
We
things.
don't
too. Like, I
compromise. There's
do
never been a
something
compromise. It's always what how many times have I repeated this? Always what April wants when she wants it. Should I just stay with you because you're crying and I feel bad, or should I look out for what I really
You better
want in
believe
life?
it.
Do you understand where I'm coming from? Understand what I've been trying to explain to you this whole damn time?
Who says, I ain't got to work no more. I don't want to do nothing. You just take care of me. I'm the prize. I don't want to cook. I don't want to clean. I don't want to do nothing.
You don't motivate me to be a better man. You really take from me. You're not pushing me to become better.
Yep.
You're not inspiring me. It's all about you. Then you like a leech. You're taking.
Because to them, peace looks like happiness. And they don't like happiness when they're not
I
around.
know that's right.
She's not going to preserve your peace. And I know there's some women in here like, no, I'll preserve my man's peace. And you're a fucking liar.
You better tell him, boy.
Because think about a time your man was in the room by himself, staring off into the distance, smiling, and you walk past the room. Did you look at him and go, he looks happy. I'm
No,
gonna leave him by
we ain't
himself.
having that.
He looks happy. Or did you go, the fuck is he
I
smiling
ain't bull
about?
crap.
It better be me. It better be fucking me.
As I like to do everything to lighten the mood up a little bit, keep the subject from getting too serious. You know, I know it's a very serious subject, but you don't want to kind of keep it light a little bit because there is a little bit of humor in some of it. But, you know, a lot of times when, you know, guys are living in these type of situations where they're just, you know, pack horses, you know, mules and whatnot, and, you know, they're not expected to have any kind of happiness, any kind of peace, you know. And a lot of times, even these guys may go out and work 10, 12 hours a day, you know, and if they're lucky enough, you know, that they can pay all the bills, the old lady don't work. So she's rested up by the time you get there. Now, if you listen to them talk, they'll be like, I cooked and cleaned all day, you know, and it was just, you know, I was just going at it. But, you know, if you clean it up behind yourself, you're not cleaning up all day, every day. So a lot of times she's already rested, napped, talked to a girlfriend, check out the soap operas. But so by the time, you know, you may have gotten there, you know, 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night, she's fresh and ready to go. Now you ready to lay down. Now she's looking at you like, you know, you're not giving her enough attention, you know. So it's almost like in situations like that, if you have a partner that doesn't really care about your happiness, don't want you to have no peace, no nothing, you know, it won't work. It just won't work. Because sooner or later, you as a man, you're going to become resentful because, you know, as you get older or whatnot, and, you know, you're going to start looking back in your life and you'll be like, man, is this what I worked hard for? Is this all there is to it? I mean, us as men, we have to have something to look forward to. And it's definitely not a wife that's nagging, won't let you rest, don't want to bring you no kind of happiness, and don't give a darn about anything that you have to say.
Marriage ain't for men, though.
It's not?
Nah,
Who is it for?
it's for y'all.
Why
No
do you
doubt.
feel that way?
I mean, because it's You getting real muddy water in marriage as a man. For instance, if you was to cheat on me with my best friend, I caught y'all in the bed and everything.
Dang.
When we go to court, they still gonna give you half.
Yep.
Period. You gonna get half of everything regardless. If I was to cheat on you and you caught me in bed with anybody,
You still got to
somebody
give it
that
up.
you never knew before, the invisible woman, AI, whoever, when I go to court, they gonna give you more than half. They gonna give you the house, the dog, the greeting cards, the spoons, the knives, the
Kids,
fork,
everything.
and they gonna make me pay alimony to you. So that's what marriage looks like to a man. So that's what I'm asking. Like, why is that a goal for women
Because
to get married?
I think we as humans, we crave connectivity. It's
You
on
can
a
get that
soul
without
level.
being married.
Can we
It's so
connect?
innate.
Or can we connect without having this
think-
contract?
I believe that a lot of women want to be married. They don't want to be wives,
Yep.
right? And I'm going to expound on this for a minute, right? I don't think that that woman that wants to be a wife complains about going 50-50. I don't think that a woman that wants to be a wife complains about being a helpmate. I don't think that a woman that wants to be a wife comes into a relationship saying what she won't do, how she won't do it. I don't even think that submission is a conversation for a woman that wants to be a wife.
True.
I don't even think that finances is a conversation. I believe
Now, this last guy, he spoke volumes on that. I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I understand, you know, times are tight and, you know, times have changed and whatnot, but not that much as far as finances. You really can't, you know, put out any more money than you have coming in. But I've seen from, you know, vast experience, if a woman really wants to be with you, she's willing to do whatever it takes, sacrifice whatever it takes, because she just want to be in your company. She want to be in your presence. It's not about her, you know, I ain't going 50-50 with no man and all. You know, they don't come at you like that. You know, it's just like we talked about in a previous episode, you know, in the dating process or whatnot. If a woman starts coming to you right off the bat, first date with her hand out begging, you're not the guy that she really wants to be with. Because I promise you, the guys that came before you, most of them got it for free. They didn't have to go through half the hoops that she's going to make you jump through. So those are like, I look at those as like tests, and they're trying to see how far they can push you and what it's going to take to get something out of you. And I can promise you they're making an assessment of you that very first time they come to you with their hand out begging for money. And if you start out leading with your wallet, it never ends. And once you run out of money, you're going to see how fast she hits the door. Like I said, I've dealt with women before, you know, and I mean, I just met them when I didn't know what their financial situation was, but I knew they didn't have, you know, a whole lot of extra fun, but they would take, you know, rent money or whatnot, or light bill money, or whatever the case may be, go out and get a new outfit, you know, go out and get me a gift. I mean, just to put their best foot forward. They didn't want me to know that they were less than quote unquote perfect because they chose me. They were people that wanted to deal with me, so to speak. That's another thing I like to let you young guys know. You know, this is something that I think old guys have forgotten about. But choose who chooses you. Yeah, if you have to get a woman that you have to seduce, you have to convince her that, you know, she wants to be with you and you're the best pick, and then you have to, you know, beg and, you know, keep running behind and all that. I'm going to tell you, those particular situations, usually they do not work, because if she really wants you up front, you don't have to do all that begging and pleading. She's going to make the first move. She's going to say, hey, why haven't you asked me to take me out, or whatever the case may be. She's going to let it be known that she wants you to pick her. You're not going to have to beg and plead, and you're definitely not going to have to go in your wallet. You know, a lot of times these women will ask you to pay. They'll pay up front because they know us as guys, we're not going to go out. Usually not a guy that's about anything. We're not going to go out on a first date if a woman decides she want to pay and go out and order the biggest tomahawk steak, you know, they have on the menu, you know, and try to, you know, rip a wallet on them. That's not how we do, because we're looking at you, you know, on a different level. We're looking at you really, first of all, we're looking to see if we have any chemistry, any connection. That's going to be the first. That's really before you open your mouth, because we're looking at you. We don't know you. So, you know, if you look like something and we find you appealing or attractive or whatnot, you know, we're not going to, especially we got a woman talking about, you know, I'll pay the bill or whatnot, I'll take you out. We're not going to go out there and try to, you know, just break her wallet. We're not going to do that.
Say what you want and go home by yourself.
Well, yeah.
A woman asks, do you find other women more attractive than me? Hell yeah, we do. There's always going to be a woman more fine. There's always going to be a woman with ass is fatter, stomach is flatter, eyes are brighter, lips are fuller. It's always going to happen. There's a chick that turns 21 every day. It's always a chick that's younger, sweeter, sexier. It never fails.
Yep.
But the fact of the matter is, that's why women cannot rely on looks to keep a man. Your looks is what's going to attract a man to you. It's like an advertisement. But at the end of the day, if you're advertising a great meal and I come into the restaurant and the food tastes like shit, the service is bad, and quite frankly, you got roaches, I'm not coming back to that restaurant, nor am I staying long. And that's what a lot of women are. They're great signs outside saying that it's great inside here. And then when you get there, the bitch got roaches, got terrible service, and quite frankly, this shit tastes bad. So which type of woman are you? Are you a woman with good service, quality product, you don't have roaches so you're clean? Or are you the woman that's got a real big bright sign out with curvaceous curves and hips and thighs and ass, but everything's rotten on the inside?
A lot of these selfish women, whatnot, usually, they end up trapping guys, they'll take a few $1,000s or whatnot and put in their body, have their breasts lifted, BBLs, whatever, tummy tucks, whatever the case may be. And they're using it as a tool to make you feel like you need to invest in them. They need to get their money back for the investment that they made, even though, us guys, we don't ask for that. I can't see a whole lot of guys running around talking about I would want somebody that's made on the table, so to speak, as opposed to a natural woman. If I'm getting with a natural woman, at least I can kind of get a picture of what my offspring are going to look like when they come out, as opposed to a woman that's been up under the knife and had cheek work and shaped up and eyelids peeled back, trying to look like a Chinaman or whatever. With all these enhancements, I don't know what the ending product's going to be. And I can guarantee you can ask 99 men out of 100, they want somebody that's natural. They want somebody that at least, if this is what I'm getting in the beginning, this is what I know I'm going to end up with. This is what I'm going to wake up with in the morning.
If she wasn't fucked up, what makes you think that she wouldn't already be taken up by now? You think that she 30, 40, 50 years old and every single guy that ever came across her just missed out on a great thing?
I'm telling you.
Come on, y'all. Can we really have a real conversation? Every single guy through her entire existence on the face of this earth, they just fumbled. They didn't know what they missed out on. Everybody was crazy. And you the one that discovered the diamond that's been visible for the whole world. She on social media. She had all of the hot spots. She making herself available. And you the one that just discovered her, even though she had children by 3 different dudes. All of them didn't want her. Her daddy don't want her. Her mama's disgusted at her. Her grandmothers keep trying to hold her accountable. She done busted down for God knows how many different guys. And you think that she was just hiding in plain sight and God put a veil over every guy's eyes that passed over her before he got to her. And then y'all let these simp coaches, man, listen, it's okay to get with that woman. You just missing out on a good thing. Then how come everybody else before me didn't see it?
I think Anton broke that down pretty good. He just letting you know. You find a woman, she's selfish. She's all about herself, whatnot. She done went to 30, 40, 50 years old. Nobody wanted to lock her down. She had 2 or 3 kids or whatnot, been through many relationships, and nobody seen the value. And now you think, you just got lucky. Come on there, guys. We got to use a little bit more common sense, because I can tell you right now, marriage-minded women, especially women that are selfless, women that are nurturing, women that care about their man, want to see their man happy, women that are family oriented or whatnot, women that, want to raise children and want to be feminine and whatnot. These women they are pulled up real quick. They pulled right out of the market pretty much soon as they get out of high school good, probably between the ages of, I would say, 18 to 23, 24, they pretty much off the market, because these kind of women, they already know what they want to be. They want to be a housewife, and they understand, that if I want a husband, I better get him right now while I'm still in my prime. But like I always say, by the time they hit 30, 40, or 50, they've been through, a few relationships or whatnot. Usually, like I said, that first breakup, it pretty much devastates them, depending on how the situation went. But by the time you get, like I said, the 4 or 5 or whatnot, breakups, heartbreaks, whatnot, 4 or 5 men, you know, 1 or 2 kids or whatnot, about different men, you know, she can't even bond. So even, you know, anything, you know, that you get after that, it's going to be basically what's left over.
Not make you in another league, it actually brings you down now. Some men love it though. No, we love to play with it. I call them rentals. You're
That's
like a
a
rental
BBL
car. You go out to
play
Miami, you rent that Lamb, you rent that Ferrari. The shit you can't drive at home. It's fun to drive out there, but now I'm not paying for this. This shit going back to the rental.
I know that's right. It's got to go back.
That's what we do with BBL. But we're not taking that to the parent-teacher conference, walking in, ass big as the table.
yeah.
Like, come on, like, let's stop playing for real. Y'all confuse a man's sexual attention with what he wants as a wife and his kids as a mother, because automatically we know your mind is point where you risked your life for a bigger ass for attention.
Yep.
You just risked your life for a bigger ass for us to say, damn, I wonder what that should look like when I'm hitting from the back. She invested $10K in her body and 0 in her brain. Going to the gym, that is a real investment, because as you're working out and building your body instead of buying it, that's going to build character. That's going to enhance you as a woman. Those women are the women that deserve to get all their bills paid.
Now, I like what this guy said about this BBL situation. You know, I'm old, so, you know, I'm out. But I do have a son that I have to try to, you know, guide and mold, you know, to be the best man that he possibly can. But even to you ladies, I don't want you to go out here and just, you know, just get a misunderstanding, like just because you have a BBL or whatnot, it puts you in a position that these men, you know, want to lock you down. The guy put it almost perfectly. He was like, you know, just like a rental car. We'll rent it, use it, and then put it back, you know, but this ain't something that you take home. Just like I was talking about earlier, you know, these women with all these enhancements or whatnot, you can't really take them serious. First of all, like he said, you know, their mind is messed up. You know, risk your life to go in there to get a big butt or whatever you're getting, you know, so you can get more attention. And it's not just the young women. I'm seeing a lot of older women, you know, going in on the table, losing their actual lives, you know, trying to regain some of the youth just so they can get some of the attention from these guys on the street. And that does not signify somebody that you want to lock down with long term. I mean, first of all, y'all going too far. Y'all went too far. I know I'm old. I don't know nothing. But I know when something went too far. You know, enhancement is supposed to be just a little touch here, a little nip there, a little tuck there, you know, to try to basically enhance what you already have. Not going to put a whole nother body on top of you. Come on now. We've got to have some kind of restraint here. I mean, any man that's got worth his salt, he'll look at it passing by like, man, oh my God, you know. But once that post-nut clarity comes through, you know, if that type of situation, once he gets through, you know, now he can see you for what it is, you're going to be something temporary, I promise you.
The women that deserve to get all their bills paid.
A woman told a date that he was not a gentleman after he spent over $200 on their dinner because he wouldn't pay for her Uber to the restaurant.
Oh my
The
God.
man from the date shared his
Selfish.
side of the story on Reddit, saying that the two went to their first date at a nice restaurant and he was more than happy to cover the bill. She had Ubered to the restaurant and he offered to drive her home. She said sure, and then asked if he could drive her to pick up some skincare products at a market and she would Uber from there. He obliged, even though that's a little weird, right? And then he even offered to drive her home from the market. Funnily enough, her credit card declined at the market. As they pulled up to her place, she asked if he would pay her back for the Uber that she had taken to the restaurant. He had originally offered to pick her up, but she didn't want a stranger to have her address.
What
So
kind
he
of mess is
understood
that?
why she Ubered, but he didn't know how to respond to her request for money. He said he would send the money over the phone, and then things got really awkward via text when he said that he was really put off by the request for money and that
Should've
he
been.
thinks they should go their separate ways. The date clapped back, saying that she's never had to ask a guy because they usually care or offer without her even having to mention it. It's fine for
I mean,
these
he
two
done
to go their
fed you.
own ways if they aren't a good fit based on their expectations. But it does have us asking, should a man pay for Ubers for dates? It doesn't seem like there's a right or wrong answer.
Absolutely
According to a
not.
recent NerdWallet survey, 72% of Americans say that the man should pay for the first date. But dating experts believe that whoever extends the invitation should pick up the bill. This man definitely did his part by paying for the meal, but is the Uber ride technically part of the date or not?
Nope. This is another situation of a very selfish woman that's sending off huge red flag before you even get started. My thing is, we done talked on the phone, we've kind of gotten acquainted, and we've gotten to the stage where, you know, we decide we're going to go out and spend a little time together or whatnot. why would I have to send the Uber when I can come and pick you up? When I got the car washed up, got me some new cologne maybe, got my clothes out the cleaners, got my hair cut, whatever the case may be, I'm thinking I'm going to come pick you up, come knock on the door, and walk you to the car, whatnot. That's how it's done. I know we're trying to act like, that's not the way it's supposed to be. But, for a real woman that has shown herself to be classy or whatnot, I have no problem with that. Now, a lot of these, younger women, basically thought bots. I mean, they don't care about any of that. But they don't deserve that. But you got to kind of judge this case by case. But I'm assuming, if y'all had some conversation or whatnot, and y'all decided, hey, we're going to go out and talk or whatnot, and see, we have any chemistry or whatnot if this thing going any further. Absolutely not do I send an Uber, now, unless you're rich and you got it like that, and that's something that you don't have a problem with as a male. I got no problem with that either. But I'm saying, as a rule, I'm going to come and pick you up because we've already talked. We've already got to the get to know me stage, so to speak. Now we just want to kind of extend that in person. Now, he done took the woman out and fed her. Obviously, she didn't have no money. But I look at this like this, if you don't have money, for a date, and this goes for male or female, I don't think that you should be out there dating. Now, say he paid $200 for the meal and whatnot. I guess he paid the valet his car, but she did one that decided, hey, I want to take a Uber. I don't want you coming to my house. I don't know you. Like, okay, cool, no problem. But I'm not paying for that. That's not something that I offer. Now, if I offered that in the beginning, no problem. But just like these women say, they tell men all the time, if you're broke, you ain't supposed to be out here dating. And I know you how it works. A lot of these women, they have a problem. I don't think I've ever heard a woman say that she's broke. She'll call a man a dusty and broke quick. But I don't know if I've heard too many women identify as broke, And, they give you all kind of cutesy terms, like it's a mentality or is this, that, any other. No, it's what's in your bank account. It's as simple as that. It's, your debts as opposed to your assets. That's what broke is. And a lot of these women, they don't identify as being broke, even though they might not have $50 in their bank account.
Life, we get taken advantage of, we get used and abused, we get cheated on. Some of you, your life has been a series of unjust deeds against you. Some of you, it started with your parents and they weren't good to you, or dad was violent and were absent. You've had girlfriends cheat on you or betray you.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
you married a woman and that ended up in divorce, or right now it's in a very painful place. You've worked for employers who did you wrong, didn't compensate you, didn't promote you, didn't honor you or respect you. And some of you, your own children, they've gutted you, they've betrayed you, they've abandoned you, they've ignored you. And the only time they call you is when they want money from you. And I know we're not supposed to say this in our culture. In our culture,
you hear women say all day, I want a provider. I want a provider. If he ain't providing, you ain't no real man. And the provider scam is basically when men are convinced that their worth is tied solely to how much they provide or whether they provide for a woman or not. Money, time, effort, or whatever. And usually when women say provider, now today it's basically a glorified trick.
Amen.
And a trick is a man who pays for access to a woman. Nothing more, nothing less. It's a personal trick that I can use as a utility. I'm not going to be the only person that has access to this utility trick. And he's just going to provide while I give the bare minimum or nothing. And today, most men have been brainwashed to believe that their worth is tied to whether they take care of a woman or not. They believe manhood has something to do with a woman or taking care of a woman. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't. You hear women say all day, I want a provider. I want a man.
I'm just letting you know, guys, this guy spoke the truth. It's not, you being a man is not about just providing, taking on a woman as she's a child or whatnot and paying her, paying for her lifestyle, paying for her to just lay up and just breathe. That does not define you as a man. Because I know personally, as a man, we love a whole lot different and a whole lot harder than women when we finally get there. As a man, when we really love a woman, like I said, we'll give our life. Let somebody mess with her, whatnot. We'll step right in front of Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal if needed. If he's disrespecting our woman and whatnot, or our mother of our children, and we'll lay down and die for him. You know, I have not met not one woman that would, you know, step in the front of a bus or whatnot for no man, or could go collect a bullet for him, or even get up out the bed and go downstairs if there's a bump in the night, somebody breaking the glass out trying to get out and get in the house. She's going to send you down there, and you best get up and get it handled. And if you die, you know, you might get a tear or two shed, and at your funeral, she'll say a few words, well, he was a good guy. And that's pretty much all the things that you're going to get. So with that being said, you got to look at yourself as more than just a utility. And as men, we tend to live our lives basically where probably 85 to 90% of everything we earn, especially, you know, if we have children in a home, is basically taking care of somebody else. But as sooner or later, you're going to have to start thinking about yourself also. Because I firmly believe if you as a man are not happy and you feel like, you know, your life is for nothing or whatnot, you'll lose purpose. And once you lose purpose, you can't make anybody happy.
Men get with women who are not wealthy. I hate to say broke, but
no, you broke.
You say broke. You hate to say broke because women don't self-identify as broke.
Yep.
That's not what it is.
Because he can't take you where you can't afford to take yourself.
Broke is a mentality to me, and that's why.
All right, your mentality and your bank account is broke.
I know that's right. You heard what it said. Broke is broke. Broke don't look good on nobody, male or female. And, you know, she tried to cutesy it up like women always do when it's something that applies to them. All broke is just a mentality. No, ain't nothing in your pocket. There's nothing in your pocket, nothing in your head. We're going to lighten the mood up a little bit before we go. I heard this particular lady doing a stand-up and whatnot. I thought it was kind of cute.
Was invented by ugly bitches. Go look at those feminist rallies. They put all the cute ones in the front row. Right behind them, they got the purple-haired wildebeest.
For real.
Just in the back screaming. Bitch, you wish somebody would.
Ain't nobody trying to hit that.
Abortion is not your battle.
I know that's right.
A man doesn't want a dictatorial woman in his home. The less feminine you are, the more you're going to struggle, the more you're going to be fighting against the biological tide rather than working with it. So what does that look like? First of all, being softer. When you first dated, I guarantee you exuded softness and receptivity. That's how you got them. You immediately went into your feminine because we kind of instinctually know how to do that, but something tends to happen over time. And we've all been there, and it's not anything to feel bad about. It's just to have an awareness of, look, here's what works and here's what doesn't. And if you want to go in the positive direction, think back to when it was easy, and whatever you employed then, do it again.
And with that, we're going to wrap it up, and we'll see you at the next one.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. Anxiety, filling up every space, no privacy.